Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to make another delicious family approved recipe. This is for creamsicle fluff or orange fluff or orange and cream fluff, something along those lines. We call it orange fluff, but the proper name on the recipe that I have is creamsicle fluff. It is reminiscent of a creamsicle in flavor. So anyways, I am making a double batch. I always make a double batch because I have a large family, but you may want to make a single batch to start out. If you're taking this to an event, a potluck or something, you might want to make a double batch. But let me go over the ingredients with you. So you need 8 ounces of Cool Whip. I'm using 16 ounces because I am doubling. You need a small box, which is 3 ounces of instant vanilla pudding. You need a small box, which is 3 ounces of orange Jell-O, just the regular Jell-O with the sugar. I have not experimented with the sugar-free, but I'm using 6-ounce boxes because I am doubling. You need mandarin oranges, which you are going to drain immediately. That's the first step. And for the single recipe, you need 14 ounces. For the double batch, I'm using this 29-ounce can, so it's a smidgen more than I need, but it works out just fine. You need a cup of mini marshmallows for each batch. You need cold water and boiling water. You need a large bowl, a whisk, and a spatula, and a refrigerator, and that's all you need. This is a very easy recipe. So I'm going to have the recipe printed in the description of this video, so go ahead and look there for the details. But I'm going to go ahead and get this drained. I've got some water coming to a boil right now. Okay, so we have our mandarins draining here. We're just going to set those aside, let them drain for a little bit. Our first step is to put our Jell-O mix in the large bowl and add boiling water. So I'm using 2 cups of water and the whole pack of Jell-O mix, 6-ounce pack. And I'm going to whisk this well until it's well dissolved. I'm going to make sure it's all mixed up well. And of course it smells really nice and orangey. So we're going to mix this really well, and then we're going to refrigerate it for 15 minutes. This recipe, we have a couple little refrigeration intervals. So I'm just going to whisk it probably about 2 minutes to make sure it's really well dissolved. And then I'm going to pop it in the refrigerator and bring you back. Okay, so 15 minutes is up, and now we're going to add in 1 cup of cold water, half a cup per batch. I'm going to give that a little mix around. And then we're going to stir in our instant pudding, or whisk in our instant pudding. Now I'm using the 6 ounces. You might use the 3. And we whisk it so it's nice and smooth. Look at all this. You can see it's still a little lumpy. We're going to keep mixing. Get that all mixed up. And then we're going to put it back in the refrigerator for another 15 or 20 minutes. Just going to cool it down some more. How's it looking here? That looks pretty good. A little bit on the side here. Okay, so 20 minutes back in the refrigerator. Time is up in the fridge on that chilling round. Wanted to mention a couple things before we move on to our next steps. I keep saying a 6-ounce box of instant vanilla pudding, and that is an error. It's a large box, which it happens to be 5.1 ounces. So So if you're making a single batch, it's a small box of instant vanilla pudding. If you're making a double batch, it's a large box. Now the Jell-O is 3 ounces for the small box and 6 ounces for the large box, but the pudding is not. And I also wanted to mention that the reason I'm making this recipe today is because I got a fantastic deal on these mini marshmallows at a store called Sharp Shopper, which is a discount grocery store that I like to visit. And I do try to post a video of what I get there. So if that interests you at all, check out those videos. But the mini marshmallows were 3 bags for 99 cents. So I bought 3 bags. And then I was like, oh, you know, I could make this. My kids were super excited. And so that's how we wound up where we are. So we are now going to fold in 2 cups of mini marshmallows. This is a little more than 2 cups, and that's okay. We're going to fold in the mandarins, which are drained, and the pudding. Or not the pudding, the Cool Whip. So let's get all of this in our big bowl here. And then we will very carefully just kind of fold it around. They kind of stuck because I had water in those. And you want to make sure your oranges are well drained because we don't want to add more liquids. We've already added all the liquids we want in this. Next comes the Cool Whip. So everything's in, and now I'm just going to fold it around and get it mixed nicely together. So this recipe is really reminiscent of like an ambrosia salad, or there's another recipe called a 5-cup salad, which is similar to those. Last year, my daughter, I did a little tea party for her birthday, and we did different courses. And for our dessert course, this was one of the items that we had. And I put it in these tall little glasses that I got at the Dollar Tree. And I put a maraschino cherry on top. And then also at the Dollar Tree, they had these little teeny tiny forks and spoons. And we stuck those in. It was really cute. I will see if I can insert a photo here of that somewhere along the line. So if you see a picture of a tray of goodies, and there's some orange like salad-y stuff that looks like this with a maraschino, that is what this is. Now this keeps about, I'd say about 3 days nicely in the refrigerator. So you could make this a day ahead of schedule. It does come together pretty quickly, as you can see, even with the little refrigeration intervals. But once we do this final mixing, we do need to put it back in the refrigerator. And we need to let it just chill in there for at least an hour, preferably 2, because it's going to firm up a little more. And you can kind of see now why we needed that large bowl, because it gets very fluffy. And the marshmallows will also kind of absorb some liquid. The Jell-O is going to thicken up. The pudding's going to thicken up. And we're just folding gently to be sure not to break up the mandarins. So we want them nice and whole. But we will stir this again before serving. All right, so I think we're good. I'm going to put this back in the refrigerator, and I'll bring you back for the final stir, so you can see what it looks like right before serving. So it has been an hour in the refrigerator, and it's time to give this another stir. Oh, you can see it's much thicker now. Just stir it around and kind of redistribute those oranges. Now, if you're taking this to an event or something, you could give it this final stir there. But you definitely want to stir it before your guests help themselves or before you serve it, because initially the mandarins do sink a little bit, you know, because everything just hasn't set up yet.